Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to our masterclass for tonight, which is the Lightworkers Path, a self-mastery journey to the new earth. And for those who don't know me yet, I am Arami Vasatras. I'm the founder of Halina Movement, teacher and creator of Girl Boss PH. So welcome guys to our masterclass. And also this is as I've said, this will be our preparatory class. You could say for those who haven't joined or haven't known about what is Halina Movement, but not only that, if you are actually in the middle of spiritual awakening or in the middle of soul searching mode, or you're just curious, you're just curious about your spiritual growth, how to really master ourselves, how to really work within ourselves, or how to do inner work, okay, or whatever it is na your reasons why you get interested on this masterclass, okay, whatever that is, you are welcome, okay? You're welcome into this masterclass because basically, we are going to tackle like at least man lang yung mga basic terms, basic things that you need to know about being a light worker. What is really a light worker? Is it the same on what we used to know about being a light worker? What is the new earth? And even self mastery. Okay, even the word self mastery, guys, we really need to explore that. So in this masterclass, we're going to redefine the word self mastery and what it is. Okay. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to go with our housekeeping here. So the part one, I will really go into the lecture. Okay, so if ever that you have any questions, insights, what else? Insights, thoughts, yeah, anything, observation throughout the lecture, please kind of hold on to that because we're going to address that in the part two, which is our question and answer quest Q&A portion. Okay, so please hold on to your questions, and of course, if you haven't ready something with you, kindly, I'm now giving you the time to get some water to make yourself comfortable, and I'm also going to make myself comfortable here and also get some paper, notebook, pen to take down notes, okay, because this masterclass will be really a marami tayo itatakal. All right, and if this is your first encounter of me teaching, actually, even though I have something in the in the screen, in the presentation, but usually, yung mga pinaka-info light bulbs or mga precious na mga insights ko, downloads, usually hindi ko siya sinusulat sa presentation. So it's really good if you really pay attention to everything that I say. Kasi sometimes I just nagpa-pop up yung mga downloads, and that is actually part of our self-mastery, okay? And if you haven't known, I'm not really like this before. I don't do kind of these teachings, but when I really committed myself to really work on myself, commit myself to the self-mastery work, then here it is. Gradually, I started to learn my own process of teaching, speaking, coaching, whatever, everything that I've been doing so far. Okay. And I also want you guys to also discover that on your own. If you're already doing that, well, great job. But still, we need to keep on learning. Okay. The learning still continues up until nandito pa tayo sa Earth. Okay? All right. So without further ado now, let's go to our discussion. Okay. So what we're going to discuss today, the makings of a new Earth light worker, redefining self-mastery and its importance to our ascension, the things that prevents us from mastering our inner power, and what it means to ascend to 5D. Okay? So and also another thing that I really want to note here, later in the lecture, I'll be introducing my New Earth movement and a mastermind for aspiring spiritual mentors, speakers, guides, and storytellers. Okay, so you'll learn about Halina Movement, the second wave, okay, and also this special mastermind that I have later on in this lecture. Okay, so stay tuned, stay talaga all throughout the lecture, and we're going to tackle that later, mamaya. Okay, so let's start. So what makes a new earth a light worker? So the first thing that I really want to discuss here, guys, is what is this new earth? Okay. It's easy to identify light worker. Like for us, kung if this is your first encounter, parang it's so we have already a premeditated definition of a light worker. Okay, maybe a light worker is someone who is giving, you know, likes to serve others, likes to be in service, maybe do charity work, diba? Like you're a light worker, you're a humanitarian, basically. Okay, but what is this new earth? What is that? Is there really a new earth? Is there really a separate earth? You could say, or is this um another, you could say a proper prophecy na meron bang papalit sa ating old earth. Okay, actually, guys, we have discussed this. We have discussed New Earth, even those the things that I've said, yung prophecies, okay, inside Halina Movement. But I will not really go into details on that. But I will just give you a pointers here in order for you to identify this New Earth. Okay, and I'm going to put that into terms on how we live our life here. Okay, like it's because some may be very skeptical when they talk about or when they hear about new earth. It's that parang ano siya, superficial. So I understand that not everyone is going to be more open to these things, okay, but I will try to put this in our living, our way of living here on earth. Okay, basically in here in our realm. So I'm just going to discuss the left hand path and also the right hand path. Okay, all right, so let's start with the right hand path here. Just to give you a very good example of the right hand path, the way we live here on earth is when we are born into the world. We've got some parents, of course. And the first thing, whether, di ba, parang the initial talaga is you have your name registered. Kailangan naka-register ka sa government or an institution, right? You have to be registered. Your name must be registered. Then, after that, in your childhood years, okay, then you have now it's like a necessary, right, na to have an education. It's necessary and also our privilege. It's known that one of our privileges here on earth is to have an education. So that's why we go to school, diba? To be educated. And sa mga linya pa lang ng mga parents natin or sa mga guardians natin, kung hindi ka nakapag-aral, wala kang mararating dito sa mundo. Wala kang, you cannot be successful. Like you cannot be someone if you don't have any education. Kahit man lang maliit na education or ano ba yan, dapat talaga ma-educate ka, di ba? So we go to school. And then when we are on school, basically what we are, the system lang, I will not really go into the details, but the system is created for us to be in preparatory for us to go to work, right? So if you remember that when you go to during our elementary days, ang tinatanong sa atin o isa sa mga assignment natin, ano ang gusto mong maging in paglaki mo? So we have now a very premeditated answers, which is maging doktor, maging lawyer, maging ano pa, engineer, maging teacher. It's because it's the roles that we have known. Those are the roles that are functionable, you could say functionable in our society for the last over 100 years, right? And the thing is, we don't actually consider too much like being a farmer, ano pa, yung, the roles that we consider like hindi masyadong, like, let's be real here, guys. Let's be real. We don't really we don't really uh, pursue those professions na hindi masyadong binibigyan ng, you're not quite in the limelight in a way, right? But anyway, but those are just things that you might want to think through, okay? Now, so, nag-ano na tayo, natapos na natin yung education, or hindi ka man nakapagtapos ng education, then, diretso na sa work. Well, kailangan naman talaga mag-work, right? We need to go to work to earn money. Why we go to work? Is it because you love your job? Is it because you love love doing it? But again, pwede naman, right? Like we have a lot of you can be both. You love doing those professions, and you're also doing that profession to earn money, to earn an income, right? So as you can see here, guys, what I've just laid out to you is a structure. We have a specific life path that we need to go through in order for us to get through a certain into a certain status quo. Okay, and this status quo can change a lot. Okay, you may have you may try to create an image for you. What is that status quo? Because it can be different from each people. The status quo that they would say would be, you have a home, you have your own home, you have your own car, you have your own family. You need to have a family in a way. Kapag dumating ka dito na age, tapos wala ka pang pamilya, then pinipressure ka ng pamilya mo to have a family because it was been so indoctrinated to us. We're so used of this premeditated structure, okay, this a path that has its own, ano na ba, meron na siyang blueprint. So that's why there are some, even though we don't notice it, okay, I'm now just going to give you those pointers, something to think about, na actually our life path that has been indoctrinated in this society is quite fixed. Fixed, but also be malleable. It can be, medyo ma-distort, konti-konti. But still, it's a fixed thing. So you go to work, you earn an income, then dyan ka na magkapamilya in a way, and then, okay, you still go to work up until usually 60s, up until 65, and then you have a retirement period. So in that time, pwede mo na ma-enjoy yung ano mo, yung money mo, and then and somehow we have a preconceived timeline of our time here. Swerte na lang talaga na makaabot tayo ng mga 90, 90 or 100. Okay. But there's a lot of factors why our lifespan is like that. But I will not really go into details on that because it's really quite big topic. But the main thing that I really want to say here, that the right hand path is like that. We lead life with a structure. Kahit pa malleable yung structure, depende, di ba? Pwede ka din namang hindi mag-aral and then diretso ka na work. But still, that's the, what's next? You need to keep on working and then have this kind of, you know, parang mga government policies. So including insurance, ano pa yan, di ba? Kasi kapag wala ka niyan, parang hindi ka secured, right? Di ba? So, still, parang papunta ka pa rin doon na may structure pa rin, right? So, following a life path crafted by others. It can also be this. It can also be the same wherein you are actually following a or you're pursuing a passion or dream that is been handed by your guardian or by your parents. Okay, kailangan mag-take over ka sa business or ano pa yung gusto ng parents mo dapat ito yung masunod na ano na ito yung ifa-follow mo na life path. So basically, it's also like that. It's still a right-hand path wherein there's a structure. It's not something that is really coming from you. Like you haven't got a choice in a way. But again, there's nothing wrong with this life path. I did not even say it's wrong. It's a wrong thing, right? What I'm really just saying that this path has its structure, has a pattern. But the question is, do we really like to go through this pattern? Do you have a choice to not go or to not go, to go or not go in this pattern? Okay, so let's now look on the left hand path. I think that's that. It's very ano naman. So the left hand path, guys. If this is the first time that you have encountered left hand path, or for those meron na silang idea or knowledge about the left hand path, this path actually gets a lot of a raising of eyebrows in a way, because whenever this has come up, this word come up, it's for those following or pursuing life, doing life in much more different from the right hand path, right? So just basically an opposite of the right hand path. It doesn't have a structure. You create your own structure. You can go, you cannot, you can choose not to go to the pattern that's been given to us. And also, this is also the path wherein the mystics, their life is quite focused on the spirituality, on the spiritual realm, or they're exercising their spiritual abilities in a way. Okay. So somehow this life path parang nakakaano siya sa iba because ang ginagawa mo parang ano ano bang ano natin like para siyang yeah, it's really quite different to what we usually do. So something more like that, okay? But all in all, the left-hand path is just, and again, you are creating your own structure, okay? And then this is also where you can really exercise free will and sovereignty. And you're more aligned to your inner self. Again, there's a lot of layers here. I don't really wanna like parang ano tayo dito ha, like black and white. Hindi naman. I'm just giving you the quiet definition. But if you really go into either you are following right hand path or left hand path, there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that we really need to have an intention here, are we living under the natural laws? Are we living under the universal laws? Are we living in the moral cosmic laws of the universe? Because whether you choose your life path, you choose right hand path or the left hand path, ang ano lang talaga is, are you following the natural laws? Because you know what, guys? Our Earth is actually under a 3D paradigm. Under a paradigm. Let's not just say 3D, because there's nothing wrong with the third dimensional, actually. But it's just more those trying to take over our third dimensional realm, which is the Earth. Earth is a third dimensional realm. There's nothing wrong about 3D, actually. But it's just more of the paradigm that takes over our realm. And this paradigm, guys, is actually it has its own intentions. I'm gonna go over to the right hand path, wherein I put in there order givers. So these order givers, guys, these are the ones who have created this premeditated structure. Na dapat punta ka ng school, ganito yung mag-work ka, ganitong mga years, and then, okay, for your hard work, then you got some retirement. Then, pwede ka nang mag-ano. But still, you're still part of the paradigm. Remember that I mentioned about you've given your name? You're still, our names are actually our sovereignty. It's something that is so precious to us. And since binigay natin yung pangalan natin, then we are now actually part of this paradigm. And we can be actually, aside from being monitored, guys, like actually you could say nakasangla na tayo sa institutions. Nakasangla na yung pangalan natin, our sovereignty to these order givers. So that's why we need to have some license. We need to take some, before we go to other places, kailangan meron tayong ganito. And even we cannot go into, we cannot just do anything we want, actually. Kailangan may license, kailangan may ano tayo, may certification. Diba? We cannot just go work in there kapag wala kang qualification. It's because, again, before we are born, our name is actually been in credit to the institution where we given it. But I really would like to, ano lang din guys, na the institution or you could say ang gobyerno natin, it's not the one that we really need to be, you could say, maano tayo ba? It's really more of a bigger agenda. Because again, we're just so used. It's been happening for almost centuries. When we are born, ito yung nakagisnan natin. Na may gobyerno, may school, merong ganito dapat yung ano mo pag-work. Then, before you go to work, kailangan may qualifications ka. Because that's what has been indoctrinated to us. But you know what, guys? For almost 1,000 or, I mean, before pa talaga, wala namang ganito. There's no schools, there's no, kailangan may certification na mag-ano before ka go to work. Walang premeditated structure. Walang ganyan. It's just over 100 years lang nagkaroon. Because of these order givers. And also, you might want to give some thought, bakit kaya yung ano natin, mga ancestors natin umaabot ng ilang years yung lifespan, pero pagdating sa atin, dumadating na lang tayo, parang okay na lang sa atin na dumating tayo ng mga 80, ganyan. Swerte na nga tayo pag umabot pa tayo dyan. Or hindi na uso sa atin na umabot ng 100. At pagdating pa natin ng ganyan na mga edad, yung ano natin, yung physical body natin is not, medyo na talaga. It's not really, you could say na, just say fit in a way, or healthy in a way. Because there's a structure been put. And now, guys, having that said, having known of these things, briefly knowing all of these things, I know this is a big topic, and we have a particular masterclass on that inside Halina Movement, which is the 3D paradigm, for all of you to understand more of everything that I've been saying earlier. And that's why we are actually aiming for a better earth. We're actually aiming for more in a higher, it's vibing in a higher frequency, has more positive energies, less heartbreak, no wars, no politics, no political wars, less low vibe entertainments. Because this is what has been going on with our earth at the moment. Let's be real. That's what's really happening. Because even though we try to, follow the path, or even though guys, you're following left hand path, okay? If you are really like a very talaga na, right? You know your way. You have your own way of living your life. You don't really just follow the trends, or just don't really follow whatever everyone's been doing. But still, guys, we're still like locked. We're like in a cell of this paradigm. Kasi nga, yung sinabi ko kanina, kapag, halimbawa na lang, kung part ka ng left-hand path or nag-left-hand path ka, you are a mystic, you're a psychic, you're a medium, you are practicing astrology, you are practicing tarot, you are deemed in a very weird way. You're deemed like you're not You're not like ours. Tama ba? Hindi ka katulad namin eh. Parang you don't actually belong in a way. And even though we do that, okay lang naman, we don't care, but we're still stuck in this 3D paradigm. We still have to go through this the structure in a way. We cannot just go to other places without passport, without visa, kailangan pa ng ganito, and everything kailangan may bayad, di ba? Everything may bayad. Again, there's nothing wrong, but it's our right to question why. Diba? And because of that, a lot of light workers are aiming for this new earth. That's really different to what we have right now. Because if you are listening to this masterclass, if you ever think na okay lang naman basta ano, 'di ba? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to live here. I'm not trying to hurt other people. Well, great job on that. Because again, I have to put a stressor here. Now, whether you follow the left hand path or the right hand path, the most important thing is we are abiding the natural laws. But yet again, we need to wake up. We have to be vigilant. We have to be open more. Let's open up more into what's really happening around us. This is a global, even the word global, guys. I even mentioned globalization on the 3D Paradigm Masterclass or in the Age of Aquarius Masterclass in there. It's also part of the agenda, the globalization. So we are aiming, a lot of people, a lot of light workers are aiming for a new earth. Higher vibration, less dense, and much more positive energies. Okay? So I just want to leave you with a quote here na if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think of energy, vibration, and frequency. And this is by Nikola Tesla. And even Nikola Tesla, we cannot even see his name on our books. I only know Albert Einstein and the rest, but I've never heard of him. I've never read him on our education system. Why is that? Something to think about. Something to we need to work. We need to dig deeper. Okay. So this is what Nikola Tesla here is saying about the energy, vibration, and frequency. This is now what we are aiming for. Higher energy. What it means kapag may higher energy tayo. We have more will to work on the things that we want to do. And even we are getting older or getting younger, we still have a lot of energy. Our body is still healthy in a way. If we really work out on this energy, learn more about this energy. Vibration, our vibe, that vibe check. And in this way, when we study more about vibration, then we're also inclined to, we know how to protect our own energy. The frequency, to measure the vibe. And even the word just frequency, frequent, how frequent you are in raising your vibration, in working on your energy, in protecting your energy, in mastering yourself. So something to think about here. Okay, now. So I have somewhat laid out what is the new earth in a sense na much more relatable in a way, okay? Because who doesn't want a better world, right? But even though we try our best in making the world a better place, why these things still keep happening? Why there's still wars? Why there's still this mga cold wars? Why the rich keep still being rich and the poor keep being poorer? Bakit may separation? Bakit may kahit konti na lang sabihin mo, merong trigger kaagad. You'll be banned, you'll be ano pa yung mga guys, maban ka, ma-cancel ka. Diba? Hindi ko na alam yung trend ng mga word dyan. Maka-cancel ka because they don't want to hear your thoughts. They don't want you to speak your truth. And even, having our masks on, I know it's for protection on this man-made disease, but it's actually, if you really look into its deeper symbolism, the mask represents a stopper of our voice. Like, we need to shut up. Shut up tayo. Kasi kapag nakamas palagi, di ba, we don't have any time to talk to anyone. Kasi nga, natatakot tayo na baka mahawa ko eh. So we don't interact with people anymore. We don't create connections. And even in social media, yes, we're social media. We have good technology. But then, ano ba is our social media or a very intelligent technology like AI is really for connection? Or is it another trap? Like this virtual reality. Dapat yung reality natin nandoon na sa game or nandoon na sa a virtual fantasy, fantasy land. Or how about our physical reality? Something to think about, because again, this is what actually the a true light worker need to understand. Because I really want to say here, guys, that a light worker is not just really about giving charity. And I'm sorry if I say that it's not enough. Because again, this giving of charity, where do this charity go? Kailangan pa nga may middleman eh. May middle company pa. Or even we are really intentional in giving charity, do we solve the root problem? By giving people food to eat, do we solve the real problem? Are we giving root solutions? So, something to think about again. Because now I'm going to show you guys This is just 10 items here about the makings of a new earth light worker. But this is also very like very important aspect if you are really committed of becoming a new earth light worker. Okay, so the first thing here, guys, is expanding our consciousness. And being here right now in this masterclass, actually, you are in that path. You are now expanding your consciousness, because this masterclass is really more about spreading knowledge, really opening up our minds more into things that are quite overlooked. And even those simple things that we are so used to knowing are, if we started to expand our consciousness, we don't vibrate on them anymore. Like we don't resonate with them anymore. Even people, even though they're so brilliant, like they're so genius, like talagang okay talaga ng mga tao. But as you expand your consciousness, okay, you start to feel their vibe. You start to see the aura. Are they really making sense? Even though the words that they say, yeah, it's brilliant, it's so smart in the ears, but there's something off. Is it really coming from the heart, or is it really coming from a bigger ego on that individual? So this is the what you could say, uh the span of really being more conscious, being more aware, expanding your knowledge, right? So yung quote ni Nikola Tesla, though it's so simple, but we are actually able to put it into the application, because everything is energy. Everything has an energy. Even the non-living things, or just a simple like this, it has its own energy. It also has its vibe. So when we start to expand our consciousness, we started to be more aware of beyond of our five senses. Okay, and then willing to dig deeper and search for the truth, knows that as he or she seeks more wisdom, learn more, admits that he or she knows nothing. And this is an important thing to note here, guys. Na hindi ibig sabihin that we are expanding our consciousness, we are better than everyone. Because the main thing that we have to understand, why we're trying to seek knowledge, because we don't know. We don't know anything about this before. So I really want to dig deeper. And then as you try to learn on these things, yes, you expand your knowledge, but then you still see more yourself that, wala pa talaga akong alam. Like it's a continuous process. Now, whenever you learn something new, it's another indication na meron kang walang alam. Right? And even though you know that concept, like, okay, may knowledge na ako dyan, but still, you still leave room for space because there's something new coming in. Another angle, another perspective. And this is also, the, you could say, the mindset. I don't really want to use the word mindset here. An aspect of learning is to be a student. A great teacher is also a great student. You're willing to be mentored, and you also mentor others. You spread the word, you spread your knowledge. And even though you have much more knowledge than others, you're still willing to learn more. So it's a continuous process. It's even a circular. It's not linear, because when we put that in a linear process, that's where you came in na, okay, alam ko na lahat. Ako na ang pinakamagaling. Ako na ang pinakamatalino. And where is that coming from? The ego. The ego likes big things. Ego likes to be worshipped. Ego likes to be like I'm good, I'm better. Okay. All right. So the next one, oneness. Um, how can I really put this into another example? The oneness here, guys, yung sinabi ko about that there's a separation. We are so used in the term of separation here on our society, like your race, your gender, your even your outer beauty. What else? Everything is calculated. Everything is like a different entity. And also, that part na sinabi ko na we're not communicating anymore with others because of some various factors, even before the man-made that the pandemic, we're still experiencing disconnection in a way, because the there's still a question on the race. We still look on things at face value in a way, and because of that, it blocks us in actually to be generally connecting with everyone, seeing each and everyone as equal. Okay, I really have to let this out, guys. I know this might be off topic in a way, because but this is also related on, seeing things at face value in our outer beauty. Like meron tayong defects. There are people who are in at childbirth, meron silang physical defects in a way. And of course, in an ano na parang they are different. But actually, how those defects, where those defects came from? If our body is made perfectly, it's even said in the Bible that we are made in the of God, diba? So it means that our body is really quite perfect, that we can live 100 years. But why some people are being born with this differences in a way? Maybe we would like to look on the medical industry, because it's another, whenever there's an industry, there's another an order giver on that. There's an institution for that. vaccines. So everything, let me just refer back again to the oneness now. Because we are now so seeing things at face value here. How can we ever connect? How can we put the a middle ground? Paano ba tayo maaano dito? Yes, we aim for oneness. Pero paano ba if there's still this indoctrination of separation na hindi matapos-tapos? Okay? But as a New Earth Lightworker, we aim for oneness. Na lahat tayo ay iisa lang. We've come from a one source. And where we go to the same place, even though we have different life paths. And now, referring back to the first one, wherein as we expand our knowledge, then we start to see synchronicities. We start to see signs. We start to see signs na like in a deeper sense. Meron na silang a deeper meaning to us. Okay? And seeing things that there are no accidents. It's not an accident that we are born. And going back to, hindi aksidente na naborn yung tao na ganun. Na ganun yung itsura niya. Ganun yung physicality niya. He or she has a purpose. He or she deserves to live here. And sometimes or somehow we even question God. Bakit ganun siya pinanganak? But is it the real question? Or are we going to question back our history? Bakit nagkaganon? Okay, something to think about again. This is part of us expanding our knowledge, wisdom. Because again, it's so easy to blame, like just blaming, kahit ano pa yan. But do we really go to the root cause? Sometimes nababack down din yung universe ng mga kung ano-anong ano. Hindi, bakit ganito yung binigay mo sa akin na challenge? Bakit mo ko binibigyan ng ganitong mga ano? But again, we have to ask ourselves. Part naman ako sa creation ng life ko. Part naman ako sa reality ko. So, meaning, I have the full responsibility or accountability of my life. Okay? Now, number 3, vibrates and heeds to the natural laws. And this is what I've been saying earlier. So whether you follow either of the path, left hand or right hand path, the only thing that we really need to understand is the natural laws and not the man-made ones. We have to decipher what are those man-made laws. Because somehow, yung alam natin na laws is the man-made laws. The laws of the institution, the laws of the executive. What else? How to explain that in much more brilliant term. But anyway, it's still a man-made law. So really need to understand what is the natural laws. And to give you a one for a wholeness here, like anong natural law? We have two gifts, right? We have free will and we have sovereignty. Ang free will, ibig sabihin, we are now able to do whatever we want, whatever we choose. We have been given a choice. Either we go to the right-hand path or the left-hand path. That's okay. It's part of our gift here on earth because we have free will. Okay? Now, sovereignty. Sovereign, meaning we are, again, as individual, we cannot be taken with our rights. Hindi dapat matapakan yung natin, privileges. We are actually an institution ourselves. We create the rules. We can create our rules, what we want to do in life, what we put into our reality, what we put into our universe. But again, even though we do have these gifts, these two gifts, we have to adhere in this one important natural law, is not to harm others in any form. Okay, that's just one. There's a lot, but that's just one, you could say, a very important rule or important law under the universe. Okay, because whatever you do, it will come back to you. Everything come back to you in tenfold. The law of cause and effect. Everything you put out there, then that's also going to come back to you. So okay lang kung anong gusto mong gawin, yeah. But again, you need to understand the consequences. Whatever you do out there, kahit ano pa yan, you have to understand na it's also going to come back to you tenfold. Okay? That's the third one. We know the natural laws. We know to adhere to the natural laws. Number 4, aims to be in alignment to their cosmic codes. So this is now also the commitment to align with our soul, to the spiritual realm, to just know that we are not here living in the physical realm. Like, hindi lang ito. There's something more out there. There's a spiritual realm out there. We have a soul. We're not just a beings here in a body. We are a soul with a body. Meron lang tayong body. We have just a physical form, but we're actually souls. Okay? And also acknowledges their spiritual team. Again, okay lang talaga guys if you are not really inclined in listening to your divine guides, or I mean, like parang acknowledge mo na may spiritual team ka. Actually, it's okay. Again, it's part of our free will. We cannot interfere. It's part of our sovereignty that we cannot interfere on other people's life path. Okay lang. You don't interfere on that. It's okay, actually. Just to be honest with all of you guys, it's really okay na lang talaga, kung hindi nag-resonate sa inyo na you are talking to your spiritual team, it's okay. As long as you are connected with your soul, with your higher self. Okay, you recognize that there's something more within you. Okay, and you have a connection to God or to the source. Okay. All right. Let's be really open-minded here. Number 5, not a slave to their ego. I also want to be to add more in the first one. Expanding your consciousness is to have an open mind. Okay, if I haven't said that earlier, okay, I really have to say that because the first thing talaga is to really be open-minded. Open-minded, but not too gullible in a way. Like you don't like whatever has been said to you, maniniwala ka agad. You're still going to discern like, let me feel. Let me use all of my senses and even my other senses that is not tangible. Like, okay ba talaga to sinasabi niya? Yes, again, it's a part of your free will. You're actually exercising your free will if you're doing that because you're not just following the crowd. You're just not following everything that people say to you. You're not a follower. Okay? You are really creating your own life path here. Kung ano ba talagang pakikinggan mo. Or maniniwala ka ba talaga sa kanya? And you use that. But still, you're still open-minded. Like, sige, bigyan kita ng, bigyan natin ng space. Let's leave space. We are here to learn, right? Okay? Okay, let's go to the number 5. Not the slave to the ego. Okay, this is also what I'm been saying earlier. Acknowledges the presence of their ego, but do not let it run their ship. We have a soul, right? We are connected to our soul. As a New Earth Lightworker, we are really aiming, committed to align ourselves with our soul as much as possible. Actually, we are already aligned. But it's just that inside this 3D paradigm, it's so hard, actually, to align ourselves with our soul. There's a disconnection happening. Kung sinasabi natin na, ay, hindi kasi ako align sa soul ko. Actually, align ka naman talaga. Hindi naman talaga nawawala yun. Okay? And you would say, di ba soul alignment coach ka? Arami. And then you would say na, bakit ka magsasabi ng alignment kung align naman pala tayo? I mean, it's just the, the title in a way. But what I'm really saying here, we have to keep our connection in check. Are we still aligned or not? Every single day, align ba ako sa path ko? Align ba ako kung ano ba talaga ang kailangan kong gawin? Right? It's part of our, we have to know. As light workers, we have to know that are we still aligned? You have to, like, in check ba ng mga cable, bigla tuloy ako ng Bisaya. I mean, yung, halimbawa, for the cables, like, magto-troubleshoot ka, kailangan mong i-make sure kung naka-connect ba talaga yung mga cables. It's also the same. With our, yung cables ba, naka-connect ba talaga sa power? It's also the same with us. Naka-connect ba talaga tayo sa ating inner power source? Right? Okay. Because if we aren't aligned, then there's a big possibility that our ego is running our ship, running this vessel. What is the vessel? Our physical body. Our body is the vessel. Because we are souls, right? We are souls inside a body. And our body is a vessel. So it's really, really important to know, to really keep on checking ourselves if we are really living our life in the soul in the driver's seat, or is it the ego na ba ang nasa manibela? Because again, it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge na meron tayong ego. We really need to have an ego, guys. It's part of our lower self to have an ego. Because if wala tayong ego, we can be easily, like, madali tayong we will not really put boundaries. We will not know how to put boundaries. We'll just let people do whatever they want to us or the situations. Unhealthy ego. But we have to understand that it should not be the main ruler. Because you know what? The old earth or our earth at the moment is actually ruled with ego. So filled with ego. Even though they won't say it, even though they don't admit it, me personally, I can feel them. All I can hear is their ego talking. Okay? So it's okay to acknowledge our ego. Like, hi, ego. Yeah. I mean, that's just my way. Okay? You have your own way in how you deal with your ego. Okay? But then you have to understand that you don't let it run your life. Okay? As a light worker. Okay, number 6, I've already said this earlier, claims accountability. Acknowledge that you are the writer, director, producer, actor, actor, actress, script supervisor, ano pa? Ano pa yung mga, lahat ng nasa production. You are the cinematographer, you are the, ano pa ang mga ano natin, the gaffer of your life. My goodness. Okay? Know that you really rule your life. You create your own reality. You co-create your own reality. You are the cause of your life. Because when we know that we are the cause of everything that we do, then it's easy for us to take accountability and even number 7 or number 8, admits mistake. Because when we know how to take accountability, it's also easy for us to admit that we are wrong. It's also easy for us to admit, mali pala yung nagawa ko. Or, medyo na-short lang ako doon sa nasabi ko or na-think ko. And it's okay. Because that's how we actually learn and overcome our lessons. Because you know what, guys? If each of us knows how to really be accountable with ourselves, then there will be actually less war. There will be less fight, less to zero violence. Because of course, if you take accountability, you also don't want others to. You also want others to take to also claim their accountability, right? Like, may kasangga ka ba? Magkakaano tayo ba? Just imagine a community na each of them knows their role, knows where they're coming from, knows their authenticity, their individuality. That even though na yeah, magkaiba-iba tayo ng views, ganyan, but we have each other's back. So you see, it's a ripple effect. It's not just you claim accountability, like for yourself, but it's actually a ripple effect into the collective. Okay, that you also got others back. You also support them in a way. You also want them to take accountability, like you also want them to be accountable. There's no actually blaming, less blaming. Just like in a relationship na lang, for example, each of the individual knows how to take accountability. Then, 'di ba? Parang kung ano man yung mga hindi pagkakaunawaan na ano kaagad. Because they admit, they claim what they have also, the shortcomings or mistakes in a way. But again, the mistakes here, guys, it's not just really the, mistake ka talaga, yung mali ka talaga, but it's just more of, the misinterpretation of a specific situation or a lesson. And both of you admit, you take accountability. Like, you don't just say, you don't just, okay, i-claim ko na lahat ng accountability, pero yung isa, yung ego, ang taas-taas, hindi mo maabot. Okay? Diba? It's a ripple effect. And this is also what we want to, have a vibe in the new earth. We claim accountability. And then paradox infiltrators. Okay, I haven't really, I have something for you here actually in this part. Hindi ko lang na-prepare yung lyrics actually, or I'll just check on my phone. So in this part, understand the paradoxes of life, but willing to break through to those that defies the natural laws. And what's this all about, guys? Na again, we're going to refer back na there's a non-interference. Like, we let others live their life kung ano man yung gusto nila. And even the paradox here is much more on the unwritten rule. Okay? Na ganito yung nakasanayan, ganito yung, kasi yun yung nakasanayan nila, right? Hindi naman nila kasalanan yun kung hindi talaga nila alam. Okay? So we understand. We understand where they're coming from, na magkakaiba tayo ng culture, or they just didn't know. Okay? But the thing here is that even though we're okay with it, yes, we understand where you're coming from. Yeah, we understand people, we understand ito na talaga yung society. But we do our best to really break through to those concepts that actually defies natural laws. Like, we don't let people get in the way. I mean, mali yung pagkagamit ko na word. But we don't let people na, they let people na gawin yung that is not actually in alignment to the cosmic laws. Okay? Like, kung halimbawa na lang, just to make this even more simpler, hindi ibig sabihin that you are a light worker or a spiritual person, you could say, na puro ka na lang light, light, light. Puro ka na lang love and light. Puro ka na lang love, love, love. Yes, it's part of our, being a light worker, because we are for the goodness, we are for the greater good. But it doesn't mean that we're just vibing into the light. We also understand the dark side. We also infiltrate. Like, kung nakita talaga natin na hindi talaga siya parang yung ginawa niya ba, hindi mo siya papalagpasin. Like, you really speak up. You really do something about it. Like, dito na din papasok yung, nakalimutan ko na yung quote. I even put it in my Facebook account. um like the evil continues because the good people do nothing. We don't let, okay? Like we don't let these things continue. Hindi ibig sabihin spiritual ka, you cannot just, dapat, ka lang, you really speak out. You do what's needed to be done. Okay? So if you need to infiltrate into that, in that paradox of, uh, because it's so usual, it's the trend, what they know, then you infiltrate to that. You break through that. Okay, I really want to share this, but I know that we have no time anymore. Sige, next na lang siguro. Because I've actually, I've been listening to this album for so long, and if ever that you're looking into my posts, I even use them as my songs or music background. So, sinong fan ng K-pop here? Because you know what, guys, when you started to really be more open, seeing beyond the symbols or what they put out there, you started to understand science in a deeper sense. Okay? So they have the name of the K-pop group is Enhypen. And they have a latest album, which is the Manifesto, Day One. And actually, in that album, guys, even though parang ano lang siya, yung mga tao nga or yung nagli-listen sa kanila talaga, hindi nila masyadong vibe, hindi nila masyadong gusto yung album na na-release nila so far. Because parang more on rebel energy. But actually, it's the songs that they have is even more, it has deeper meaning, and it's actually about infiltrating into the 3D paradigm. So ito na yung guys na yeah, we understand that ganito yung ganito yung life pattern dito. But doesn't mean na you will also just follow through it. You really have the discernment to choose what is really right, especially if it is in alignment with the natural laws. Is this harming anyone? Is this really helping out anyone? So I don't really want to to play the songs here kasi baka maano tayo ng copyright. But again, kindly look na lang guys. Maybe an assignment. Okay? Kindly look into their music. That particular album lang ha, Manifesto Day One by Enhypen. And try to look on the English lyrics na lang. Okay? Because ano talaga, you will, even the word paradigm, walk the line, what else? Ano pa yung mga nilagay nila doon? Yeah, the draw the line here is actually more on the, the premeditated na path, the right hand path. But they can actually do or rewrite another line that is not really part of that life pattern. Okay? So number 8. So I've also already talked this about earlier, admits mistake, claim their wrongdoings, and then open to change their behaviors, and they did. It must be have an application here. We have to emphasize that. Hindi lang tayo open to change our behaviors. Like, yeah, we admit our mistake. Yes, yes. And then we're open to change our behavior. Pero, ginagawa ba natin? Are we willing to change our behaviors? Okay? We have to be really open. Yes, to be open with our behaviors. But we also have to do the work to change it, even though it might be hard. Future perfect. Halos naman lahat. Oo. Halos lahat ng songs, favorite ko doon. Pero yeah, Future Perfect is also, gustong-gusto ko din yung Future Perfect actually. Okay, okay. Let's move on. Okay, embodies authenticity and individuality. Now, it's also one thing to consider that, yes, we are part of the collective consciousness. Yes, we are actually like, yeah, isa lang naman ang ano natin, main goal talaga as a light worker is to really make this world a better place. But you also embody or recognize your own power. This is also one thing that you need to understand, guys, to embody your authenticity and individuality. Because actually our authenticity is corrupted. It's quite corrupted. It's even seen on the buildings. Just remember the ancient structures that we have. Like they have this very intricate details on it. And even we ask, how is it made? Who made them? And why they don't do something like that anymore? Bakit hindi na tayo gumagawa ng ganun ng mga structures, na buildings? Na grabe ka, very intensive yung pagkaka-structure, yung intricate, even those megalithic structure, hindi natin alam kung paano ba ginawa yun. And why we don't do that anymore? Why our buildings looks the same? Even our houses looks the same. Even our looks the same. Even the trend na beauty is dapat ganito yung beauty mo. Diba? Because our authenticity is corrupted. This paradigm wants us to look the same. Because to them, we're just the same. What we are slaves in the system. We're just slaves. But again, I don't want to go further on that. We have class on that, particularly masterclass on that inside Halina Movement. So you may want to check that out. Okay, on what I'm talking about. But the most important thing here, guys, is that we need to embody our authenticity. Because when we know our real selves, when we are coming from the heart, when we are in alignment to our soul, then it's easy for us to show up with the world with our authentic selves. And from there, we recognize that we have our own power. Again, everything that we have, it's full of power. It's full of potential. You have great power on you, guys. Each one of you have great power. You have great potential. You have your own uniqueness. But the question lang, are we showing up? Are we able to open that up to something that we have to work on? Because the New Earth Lightworker keeps on continuing committing every single day to recognize his or her own power. This is where we actually access our inner source and are strengthening our will na we continue doing what we do. Na hindi tayo actually, yeah, mapagod, it's normal. Of course, we just need to take a rest. But our motivation power is still there. You are still igniting your light. You're still igniting the flame inside of you. When you embody your authenticity and individuality, that's the very essence. It's so simple to say, yeah, be yourself. But what is that be yourself? It's more on igniting your power within you, keeping that aflame, because that's what's going to fuel you. Lalo na if you really push through in working in your own spiritual growth that is in alignment to your soul, to your mission. Because you know what? It's really more about breaking through, breaking, infiltrating to the paradigm, to be honest. That's the biggest work actually. To infiltrate to this paradigm. Because once kasi na mag-veer away tayo, what's going to happen? Usually, we will get some questions. We get a lot of around the people around us. Well, bakit ka ganito na? Diba? And when you try to show up your true self, they would say, you've changed. Like, hindi ka naman ganyan dati. And they would even try to blame you and put a lot of talks on you. That's just another thing that we have to endure, actually. You have to endure. Because again, guys, it would be really hard, actually. But you know what? As I've also tried to learn, the Lightworker path is actually the easiest in a way. In a way, because we are becoming closer to the source. It's easier, actually, sa totoo lang. But it becomes harder lang because we're still stuck in this paradigm. Or I just don't want to use the word stuck. We're still on the, medyo nasa ano pa tayo. Pero getting there. Because we also have to use the, to master our words, because sometimes our words can really, can be it's either make us or break us. Diba? The words can really hit us so much than the physical, right? If you would just agree, if you will agree with me, it's parang okay pa siguro na maano ng physical kasi naman masabihan. Kasi yung salita mas masakit. But anyways, that's just me lang naman. That's just my observation. It can also be different from each one of us. Okay, so this is the importance of, being comfortable with your authenticity, with your individuality here. And then the last one, guys, then the 10th one. I know there's still more. This not just all about the New Earth Lightworker. Just giving you a little bit of the pointers here. I think this is the most important one to take note, that light workers are fueled by being in service to the greater good of humanity. They know that they have great responsibility, not only to their microcosm, which is the microcosm is themselves. We are a microcosm because we are trying to understand ourselves. but also to the entire, let me just see, I cannot see on, what's next? To the entire collective consciousness. Okay, sorry. Kasi natabunan kasi, so hindi ko makita. So again, as light workers, we know we actually embody that we have greater responsibility, because all of those things that the 1 to 9, all of these things is actually a culmination into our no, para siyang ball of energy ba, na it's creating this spark, it's creating this vibe, it's creating this this flame that it's actually our fuel whenever we are in service of others. Na even though, yeah, we are in service of others, but we still also take good care of ourselves. We know how to take good care of ourselves as well, na hindi tayo maubos in a way. Hindi ka naman talaga maubos because you have so much power in you guys. We've come from the source. We've come from God, okay? Whatever your belief is, all right? It has a great source of power, infinite. Because when you start to really see yourself, you have an infinite, you start to understand slowly, of course, hindi naman yan pang ano talaga, that you have this great source of power within you. And you just have to put it into the physical plane. Manifest it in your reality, right? Ito naman talaga yun. Even aside from acknowledging it, na you have your own power, the dreaming that you dream that you are this someone, that you have great power in you, you also put it into work. You put it into the material plane na at least tangible ba, right? So that's also our initial thing that we need to do here as a soul with a human body form. Okay. So, but how to transition to light working? So how can I discover this inner sense of servitude to create the new earth? So with all of those things that we have discussed about the makings of a new earth light worker, so paano ba tayo mata-transition? Okay? Or also the question here is, how can I continue? Halimbawa na lang, you're already doing this, that you're already doing your light working, okay? How can I continue working on being a new earth light worker? And the very most important thing is inner sense of servitude, right? Like, yeah, it's so easy to say, okay, I'm in service of others, but when the days pass, you do your stuff, it gets harder. Like, parang dapat ko ba itong ipagpatuloy in a way? So how can we come from a bigger source here, or come from a higher calling here? Now we're going to go with the self-mastery here. Okay, guys? It's really more about self-mastery. We are the microcosm, right? So the microcosm is us. Before we can really contribute in the collective consciousness, or the macrocosm, to the universe, bigger stuff na kasi yung yung creating the new earth, right? Like parang big stuff siya. It's so a big responsibility. Pero how can I start? How can we start doing? And if you want to commit yourself in creating the new earth, a better world, is we have to know ourselves. We have to really master ourselves. Knowing thyself, to work from within, to start with ourselves, to commit in mastering ourselves. Okay? But I also have to put this on check. Because sometimes self-mastery is also getting labels of being egoic. Because there's just one, it's all recent lang din kasi. And maybe some people here inside Halina, siguro siguro maintindihan din nila ako. Because I've just, I've been hearing kasi na doing inner work is actually parang binabaliwala ba? They don't put importance about doing inner work. Again, we do get people. Because again, we don't interfere in each other's lives here. We respect their own paradox of life. Na ganun yung pagtanaw nila sa mundo. We understand that. But again here, as new Earth Lightworker, if we are really committed to bring this Earth into a higher frequency, in a higher vibe, in a much more positive energies, then we need to speak out. We have to say the truth. And we understand where they're coming from what they say about it. Okay lang naman, actually. Pero, doing inner work is actually a root solution. Because of this paradigm, isa na dyan, ang paradigm natin na nandito tayo sa paradigm na ito, they actually put too much, a very gray layer on self-mastery. Yes, we have self-development books. This is not, of course, it's not new. We have, there are a lot of brilliant people have talk about self-mastery, self-development. Yes, yes, yes. Again, we have to see beyond the intention of doing those books, doing those whatever platform they put that about doing inner work self-mastery. Because there are just some. Yes, they're creating a self-development content here, pero it's coming from an egoic intention. Kaya nga din, I also advised, even in my coaching clients, na it's really okay not to read all the self-development books out there. It's really okay. Even those books that is recommended by the billionaires, by the millionaires, yeah, or you don't need to read them actually. You can read them, but it's not necessary. Why? It's because, again, we have to look into the intention why they created those books. And if you also try to remember, if you watch the film Men in Black, tama ba guys? Men in Black by Will Smith. Yung, may scene doon guys. May scene doon. Wherein, nasa training sila. Nasa training sila. And then, nasa training sila. Tapos, ang yung isang scene doon na magbabaril sila ng ano, parang mga creature, yung mga mythic, yung very yung mga alien na creatures na gano'n, parang basta gano'n. And then there is one, aside from doon, meron ding girl na lumabas. Hindi talaga ano talaga bata. I mean, picture lang. Cardboard ba? Cardboard. Cardboard lang yung pang practice room lang kasi yun eh. Tapos may bata na cardboard ang itsura. Then may daladalang quantum physics books. Parang gano'n. Ganyan. And then, syempre, intern si Will Smith doon, right? Actually, hindi ko na maalala talaga kung ano talaga yung scene na yun. Kasi yun lang yung nakuha ko na context. So, they were training. So, may kasama din siya na mga nagte-training din. So, yung mga kasama niya, binabaril yung mga alien, yung mga creature. Ganon, na cardboard. Pero si Will Smith, ang binaril niya, yung bata. Sabi doon ni Will Smith is that or yung coach niya, sabi niya, bakit mo binalil yun? Yun. So actually parang natapos na. Kasi parang tama yung ginawa ni Will Smith. And then nag-explain si Will Smith na ito, normal lang kasi yan. Normal kasi yung mga dapat na ano. Pero kasi itong batang ito, kasi yung context niya doon is, may dala-dalang quantum physics book, parang more on, parang metaphysics ba? Scientific na mga parang books yun na ganon. And then, bakit siya may, bakit may bata naglalakad at the middle of the night na may daladalang mga quantum physics book, bakit may daladala siyang mga ganun na books. Is she trying to take over the world? So yun yung context doon. So ibig sabihin guys, I hope I'm making sense here. Like the institution, parang ano kasi yun, parang 'di ba, parang sacred agency kasi yun eh, 'di ba? Na they don't want people who are rebels. They don't want people who infiltrate the system. They don't want people to really rebel to the system. That's the message actually there. They don't want people that are really, mastering themselves. They don't want people to self-master, to know their potential, to know their inner power. Because once each of us guys knows our power, it will be like ilan tayo? Sila 1%, tayo 95%. Tama ba? Tama ba ang math natin? Hindi, 99 tayo. 99% tayo, 1% sila. Ganyan lang sila kakonti. Pero marami tayo. Yeah, yung cardboard na drawing, yeah, that one. You may want to look for that scene. It's very, actually. They have a subliminal message there. They don't want people to infiltrate. Basically, they don't want light workers. They don't want light workers. Kasi if ever man lang, hindi naman lahat guys ha, I'm not really putting it, lahat talaga ng self-development book is wag niyong basahin, or this self-development book are created for another purpose. But basically, it's part of an agenda. Because maybe those self-development books is really not just understanding their power, but more on how they can take over people, how they can manipulate people, how they can be a puppeteer instead of being a puppet. Okay? So with this, yung sinabi ko kanina na knowing thyself sa mastery, di ba sa is this parang egocentric naman, di ba siya? Okay. Okay, para nagaano yung ano ko screen. So I'm going to ano lang dito, what is the opposite of a light worker? A dark worker. A dark worker is fueled by self-driven ego as their god. They would do anything to serve their desires, even on the expense of others. So even that so very ano lang na scene in that movie, why would you kill a child who's trying to master or know the secrets of the universe? Why they don't want people? Why they don't want a child na malaman yon? Why they pull the trigger? I know it's just a harmless scene, you could say, but it might also happen in real life, right? Because of this, because their ego is talking, and they don't want they don't want us to really get the education that we actually need, which is self-mastery. And for me talaga guys, self-mastery is the education that we actually needed, especially when we want to ascend to the fifth dimension or higher dimensions. It's actually our call. It's really up to us. We can actually vibe into higher dimensions. But again, it's part of our free will. It's still up to us to rather live in the matrix or create our own path. It should be or. So rather live in the matrix or live in the paradigm, to just, live lang, ganito pa rin, nandito pa rin tayo sa matrix, or create our own path. Okay? Because again, guys, there's nothing wrong whether you follow you lead your life in the right hand path or the left hand path. There's nothing wrong. The only thing that we have to understand is to really abide in the natural laws, to really know the natural laws, and again, understanding ourselves, self-mastery. So whether you are, kung saan man kayo, walang because again, we are aiming for oneness here. Oneness ito. If we do our own work, we do inner work, each one of us. Because all of these things, again, the makings, how can we really vibe into this personality or archetypes of being a new earth light worker? It's by knowing ourselves, to do inner work. Okay? Again, self-mastery is not egoic. It's your sovereignty, my goodness. It's your sovereign to know. It's your sovereign to live your life, whatever you want it to be. So you're free to learn. You're free to go to different places. You're free to roam. But again, somehow this has been somewhat cut off to us. Or at least parang na-limit. But I also want to here, guys, but being a master, okay, there's also another thing that we need to take note, because it's also somehow, parang medyo may medyo may gray area tayo sa self-mastery. Because by being a master does not dwell to the fact wherein he or she only needs him or herself to search for the universal truth. Okay, we have conversations kasi inside um inside Halina Movement, and I hear this kasi, which is again totoo naman. The all of the answers that we need is just within us. Diba? Yun naman ang essence ng self-mastery, yung inner work. We have to understand more to know the answers, then we have to work from within. But again, I hear din kasi this ganitong mga ano na you don't need to be coached, you don't need guidance anymore. Again, it's okay. But I'm just feeling lang din kasi, are we coming again from an ego here? Because we have to ano naman din, we have to admit that even though we do our inner work, we still need the teachings of others. We still need to be taught. We still need to be mentored. Because if we're just saying, okay, self-mastery lang pala eh. O sige, Arami, self-mastery lang pala eh. Hindi, ako na bahala. I'll just learn on my own. Yeah. But does it really mean na hindi ka na pwede, hindi mo na kailangan ng guidance? Hindi mo na kailangan ng a little bit of ano? I really have to put this out, guys. Again, because we are opening up here. We are expanding our consciousness here as much as possible. Okay? Because actually, if we just think like that, parang ano na lang natin, parang ano tawag dyan, we try to neglect, the brilliant teachings of who've come before us, have also tried their best to really put out this knowledge, this wisdom that they've also worked for so many years in during their lifetime. They're there for a reason. There are there's someone who came before us who've left these teachings, this wisdom for the generations to come, which includes us, right? So again, the self-mastery here is it has this open-mindedness again. It's more of the expansion because we have to understand that we are just one. That we cannot create the new earth with just one person. We need each other, guys. Because as more that we dream the same dream, which is, creating the new earth or having a better place, like putting, in layman's term, putting heaven here on earth, then that's also going to manifest, right? I mean, I'm also laying out here na ano lang, na like let's be realistic na wala naman talagang ano, yung halimbawa wala talagang new earth na darating naman talaga. Ito lang talaga yung earth natin. E di gagawa lang natin ng paraan to make it a better place. Just to make it an layman's term. Kasi let's be open. We still do not know, right? What's really going to happen. So again, that he or she doesn't need anybody else teachings and guidance just because the individual already knows that all the answers that he or she seeks is just by looking from within. Again, a great student, a great teacher is also a great student. The first thing that a marking or a mark of a new earth light worker is continues to expand his or her knowledge, his or her consciousness. Because halimbawa na lang guys, we're already in the fifth dimension. Let's say we're already in the fifth dimension, brilliant. We will have new things to learn in there. There will be new, you could say, new challenges. There will be new experimentations that we're going to need to learn in there. And even, halimbawa, in sixth dimension, seventh dimension, 11th, 12th, it will be a new thing. Diba? Walang, it's endless, it's unlimited, it's infinite. So again, habang nandito pa tayo on Earth, is let's be open to that. Even while we're still in this consciousness, you could say, it's either we're still in the 3D or the fourth dimension, we are still open. We're now committing ourselves to be more open to mastering our inner power. Okay, so what prevents us from mastering our own power? There's a lot, but there's just these three. Number one is fear. Fear is the greatest parasite that has been inflicted in our society. That it's okay to feel fear. It's okay for us to feel na maano tayo. Even yung be fearful of God. But do we really need to be fearful of God when all we need to do is love God? Right? And I also heard this from Dolores Cannon, if you've known her, that fear is just an entertainment. Like fear is for only entertainment purposes, just to create some variety in our life. Na okay, let's feel another emotion here instead of love, aside from love. But we grow into this. We still we are so used to vibrating in the feeling of fear. Like we even like it. I even have a family member that likes to be frightened. I don't know why. This family member of mine just like to be frightened, to be shocked, to be surprised. It's okay to be surprised, but yung mag-ano talaga yung ano niya, matakot talaga siya. Gustong-gusto niya yun. Kaya I don't watch I don't watch anything that ano yung tinitingnan niya. But again, it's just for entertainment. But because of this, we're so used. Just imagine the shows that we see on TV. Most of them are fear-based. And even our marketing strategies, it's even inflected with fear. Like kung hindi ka mag-ano nito, ganito. Natakot ka kasi ganito. Everything is fear-based. And this is also the secret weapon that the paradigm have used. And then again, egoic intentions. Yes, someone mentioned here, egoic, yes, egoistic mindset. Yeah, if you're not open to learning to others, yeah. So what prevents us from mastering our inner power? It's fear, that other factors of being fearful, and also even being fearful of our own power, being fearful of our own capabilities. And another thing is egoic intentions. Because you know what, guys? When we start to really work on ourselves, understand ourselves in our daily life, continuously, you will start to slowly decipher kung ego ba ito, or am I really coming from my soul or from a cosmic energy, your cosmic code. It will be easier for you to decipher it actually when you start to really go through working in ourselves. But this is also what prevents other people actually from really understanding their power because of ego. Na, yun nga, alam ko na. I will not, kung ano yung alam ko, dito na lang ako. Kasi yun, alam, because the person believes that he already knows, he or she already knows what he or she knows. So they already put a curtain there. But you know, there's still something more pa pala beyond the curtain. So instead na meron pa siyang ma-understand or na mga anggulo, wala, because the ego put something. And then again, another thing that also preventing us from knowing our power, understanding our power is being bonded in the 3D paradigm. Bonded, being in a religion. And when I say religion, guys, it's not saying like parang yung ano, yung alam natin na religion. Because religion, guys, is it just means bonded, to put into bondage. To put something into a it comes from the word religare in Latin, to bond. And even the true meaning of religion, if you really want to really work out real religion, is to unbind, to free. But actually what's happening right now, we're so engrossed with our own belief system, and it keeps on creating separation, and we still wonder why we are still not becoming one, why we still not thinking the same. But have we actually looked into the root problems? Right? Like, ito na yun, no? It's already up in our, in front of our eyes. But again, we cannot just, only each of us can really understand that. And as a New Earth Lightworker, as New Earth Lightworkers, guys, okay, it's our actually part of our mission to spread the message. Because if we want to keep the vibe high, then we need to spread the message, right? We need to spread the message. So what is this ascension to the new earth? Okay, again, the ascension is more on, creating this new earth, creating these new energies. So the most important thing that we have to really work on is to raise our vibration. So actually, these are the effects of, really working from within. We raise our vibration. And again, committing, like frequency, guys, this is now where frequency comes in. Because you cannot just say na nag-work ka on your spiritual growth, like I've worked on my spiritual growth for like a year. And then after 1 year, wala na pala. So we have to be frequent, like frequency here, guys. We have to be, committed to keep on working on a spiritual growth, to expand our knowledge, our wisdom, to really dig deeper, okay? To really look more into much more angles, and be with like-minded individuals, or being part of a community that serves as a refuge for the creation of the new earth. So this is really now, guys, that when you understand vibration, energy, and frequency, you start now to vibe who are the people you need to vibe with. Okay? Parang maano mo ba kung sino na ba talaga yung dapat kasama sa journey mo. And you are not also, you will not feel actually guilt na you are, kung ano man yung mga nakasama mo dati, wala na sila. Or not feel guilt, or not feel talaga, other emotions na ganon. Because, ang ano mo naman sa iyo is like, you are actually now creating your own path here. And you are actually for the greater good of humanity. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi ka na nag-ano sa iba is hindi na talaga. You're just protecting your vibe. You're just protecting your energy. Because when, a very, very toxic energy comes into that, sino ba ang maano? Di ba tayo? And this also keeps us from, then parang naano siya ba? Parang na-poison tuloy ang ano natin. And then, yung ating technology, our secret technology, which is our body, is actually compromised. This is also what I've been talking about, the paradox here, guys. Na hindi ibig sabihin na spiritual ka na tao, ay you're just always nice. The ano talaga here is for the greater good. It's not for the greater nice of the humanity. Right? It's just being nice. Spiritual ka naman na tao eh. So, be nice lang. Kung anong ano sa'yo, then you just go with it. Lightworkers just don't vibe with the light. They also understand how to embrace darkness, how to embrace shadows, how to work on this phantoms or dark entities na, yeah. So that's why we're trying to master them. Na they don't actually run over our life. That we're still able to, they would say manipulate. Yeah, manipulate. But when we say manipulate, in a way na it's still for the better of others, that you are not actually hurting others. When you say manipulate, yeah, also Dolores Cannon also said na we are here on earth to manipulate energy, to manipulate this energy, vibration, frequency. But then the manipulation here is for the greater good. For the greater good of all. You're not really using these, you're not manipulating these energies to hurt other people. Okay? So the New Earth's education will focus more on self-mastery and open practice of our spiritual gifts and abilities. So just imagine, guys, that the New Earth, what it looks like, what's the New Earth would look like, then we'll be more open to work on ourselves. Like, hindi na magiging taboo in a way ang inner work. Hindi na masasabihin ng inner work na inner work, wala namang makukuha dyan. Okay? But doing inner work would be the catalyst of our life. It would be our joy, right? Education should be joyful. It's not something to be feared. It's not something to when you go to school na ay sana matapos na tong subject. Right? And then been doing a lot of stuff in there na it's not really for our it's just more of for the paradigm. We are being educated to become workers. Just imagine lang, guys. Just try to give some thought on that. That maybe we are being taught in school, we're being educated just to become a worker or a slave. Okay? But the New Earth will be different. The New Earth will be the focus of its education is really on self-mastery. It will be much more open to that. An open practice of our spiritual gifts and abilities. Being more open to not just working on our five senses, but our higher faculty senses. Like we're able to understand energy. We're able to understand this and that. Okay? Okay. So in order for us to vibrate into the new Earth's frequency, we have to start living our life as if the new Earth is finally here. So because the new Earth is not a destination, it's a state of consciousness. So para talaga guys na ma-work out natin to is to really live in the present, here and now, to really think that the new Earth is really here. Okay? That's why it's so important for us to really do the Lightworkers path talaga is really being committed on working with themselves to work on the microcosm because at this point, okay, like while we're still alive, because when we do that, then it would be easier for us to manifest, to put the new earth into the reality. Because it's just a state of consciousness actually. The new earth, um we can still live in the same plane, but it would be a different consciousness because the people would be in a higher consciousness, like um hindi ka na matatakot to be with people, hindi ka na matatakot na mag sa gabi because you know that in each of the people are conscious. They are in this, di ba? Parang it would be really different. Wala kang takot because New Earth will have no fear. Di ka na matatakot na baka gawan ka ng ganito or gawan ka ng masama ng ibang tao because you know that that person also a light worker, a New Earth light worker, have done their own work to master themselves, right? So it's really more of a state of our consciousness. It's not really about i-change ba natin ng earth, i-change ba natin yung, and even we, our relationship with the earth would be different. We're being more loving, we're being more receptive. I mean, hindi lang natin basta-basta gagawin yung resources for just own our egoic desires, agenda na para makabili tayo or makapag-produce pa tayo ng maraming money. We even love it, we even listen to it. So that's really the new earth, okay? All right, so that's really it for our masterclass. And before we go, guys, I really want to invite you to our New Earth movement that is really committed to serve the creation of New Earth. So if you really want to commit yourself in the self mastery, raise your vibration. Yes, raise your vibration, commit yourself into the personal growth, expand your consciousness, willing to be guided, willing to be mentored, willing to be with like-minded individuals and be part of a community that really serves a safe heaven. Okay, heaven, a refuge for those who are really committed to become a light worker, a true light worker. Really want to serve others for the greater good. Okay, so we have we're now opening Halina Movement to all of you guys. It's the Filipino collective for light workers and truth seekers. So if you are really looking for a community na that could really understand you, okay, who are also in the same, following the light worker path. Okay, the light worker path we're in, it has the qualities of being a light worker, being willing to expand their consciousness. What else? Ano pa yung mga na-discuss natin earlier? But the most important thing is really be in service with others, to really serve others, to really serve from love. No, not serve from a greater compassion, serve in a higher calling. Talaga, I was really committed on keep doing that. Okay, so Halina Movement is really opening now. So we are already on the second wave. Um, we have self master classes in there, new earth teachings, esoteric discussions, eye opening videos, collective soul alignment sessions. So if you want to be coached or guided in a way, we have a group, okay, a group coaching sessions in there, particularly on working on our spiritual growth, okay? But if kahit ano pa man yang mga ano nyo, actually it can be also well taken care of inside this collective soul alignment sessions because you know what, everything is all connected. Okay, so kahit pa kung financial man yan or relationship man yan yung gusto nyo ng kailangan mo ng guidance, actually there's a turn around to that because everything is just connected. Okay, and alchemical practices and rituals. Okay, so actually, I'll be opening a very, very new series inside Halina Movement, which is really focusing more on spiritual alchemy. Okay, so we will be discussing that inside Halina Movement. I think we're going to start this week. Okay, with our classes in about spiritual alchemy. Okay, and we also have rituals as well. Okay, practices. Okay, and if you have any again if you have any ano lang sa word na ritual, we also have a discussion inside of Halina Movement kung ano ba talaga ang ritual. Is it a bad thing or not, right? So let's see. And also, guys, aside from that, I'm also opening a new collective, which is the Messengers Mastermind. This will be a new Earth mentorship. So this is really for people who really want to become a messenger themselves, who really want to become a guide, who really want to become a spiritual coach or a spiritual mentor, speaker, and even storyteller. Okay, so if this is really if you are someone that is really want to work with, you know, more on speaking out, okay, speaking out not just in a verbal form, but you can, it's also in a written form. Okay, so if you want to really work out with your voice, you know, speaking your truth, okay, and also becoming a guide to others, if you're committed on doing that, then I have a mastermind for you guys, which is the Messengers. So inside, I'll be giving New Earth mentorship lessons na talagang it's really more focusing. We're not really going to focus on the third dimensional way of, you know, to how to write, how to speak, because again we are infiltrating to the paradigm. So this will be a um new way of teachings, okay, a new way of how we can really speak up our voice, because again what we have known in our education system or kung anong alam natin society, we cannot just use that if we are really committed to work to the new earth, right? We cannot use the same method. We have to really vibrate into the new earth. Again, we have to understand, in order for us to create the new earth, then we have to really feel it right now that we are already in the new earth. We have to vibe to it. Okay, so this will be a new way of really doing mentorship lessons of how to become, you know, to speak your authentic voice. And you also have private coaching with me. Inside, and social media trainings, of course. This will be a new one. This will be a new way of really you know, how to put your authentic voice into these digital platforms. Okay, so you better watch out for that, guys, if you really want to become a spiritual coach, a spiritual guide, or a storyteller. And we also have a collective initiation calls. So aside from this mastermind, you can also get the access to Halina Movement. So if you want to access Messenger's Mastermind, you can also access Halina Movement. It's also part of your subscription. Okay, this will be a 1-year mentorship. So just imagine, guys, you will have a 1 whole year to practice, to work on your craft, becoming a guide, becoming a new earth messenger. Okay, becoming, we really working yourself. And plus for that, you have a community. You also have me as well. You can have a private mentorship with me, like really close um work around with me inside the mastermind. So just imagine that. And aside from that, you also have an access to Halina Movement, now which already potent already with a lot of self-mastery classes there, right? So feel free to really get into this Halina Movement or in this Messenger's Mastermind. And I'll be also leaving the links here for you guys. And before I really go, I really want to say this is really what I can really vibe, is that the self-mastery is the new earth education. I know I keep on repeating this all throughout of this masterclass and even in my other classes, but really it's self-mastery, guys. Knowing thyself, it's even encrypted in in this emerald tablet, which is we're going to talk about inside the spiritual alchemy lessons that we have inside the Halina Movement. So yes, I am really thankful for your time, guys, for being with me here. And I really appreciate your presence, especially here on the Zoom. And of course, guys, you'll be able to access the replay. I'll be putting the replay inside the in the landing page of the Halina Movement subscription. Okay, let me just put the link here. And before ko makalimutan lang, guys, before ko lang makalimutan, I have to, ano pala, I have to leave you with a promo code here for being part of our masterclass here and for really finishing this. Okay, so I'll be leaving a promo code for you guys. Okay, so the promo code that we have is self mastery. So that would be all caps and walang space. Ay, mali pang spelling ko. Self mastery. So when you go to our subscription, you will be able to use this promo code. Okay, I do believe it's a 20% off. Okay, where's my Zoom? Okay, I'm just going to leave here yeah, that would be our landing page there. Also leave that in our chat box here. And yeah, that's really it for our masterclass today. I'll be leaving a time for questions, but I'm not going to include that anymore in the in this recording. Okay, so I think we also gone the time, parang 2 hours na din tayo. So for those who are here on the Zoom right now, if you have any questions, let's leave that in the after session. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Don't worry, again, I'll be leaving this replay inside the landing page, and I'm also going to email you. And guys, feel free to share this to anyone that you want to know more about how to really master themselves. Again, guys, when you master yourselves, it's a ripple effect. Actually, you actually master your life. Like, bakit kaya nagaganito yung mga nagkakaproblema ako ng ganito? When you master yourself, hindi naman talaga magiging perfect yung life. It's not really about perfection here, but it's more of really understanding and really knowing how to love ourselves and also love other people. Diba? It's really more that it's not really becoming perfect. Self-mastery is not about being perfect. It's really more about being more compassionate and really um materializing the love from God, right? The love from the source. And in order for us to to really say that we are living in heaven, then we have to vibrate in the unconditional love and compassion of God, right? It's just like that. Madami lang ako nasabi kanina, pero yun lang naman talaga yun. Okay, all right, guys. Thank you so much, and see you. Okay, see you soon in Halina Movement. I'm excited for all of you to be part of Halina Movement. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Matagal-tagal yung ano natin sa Halina Movement. I mean, the second wave, mas matagal siya sa first wave. I mean, mas matagal yung opening because we want really people to know more about our movement. And you'll never know. We can also do more. We can also do more sharing. We can do another activity wherein we can share more the message. Okay, so that's it, guys, and thank you. Bye for now. Again, Arami here, and take care. Bye.